Welcome to A4NB4Y, the Zelda-themed podcast that's diving into Skyward Sword. In the last episode, we were set upon our task to complete the hero's song, and now we are out trying to find those pieces at the 3 areas that this game has to offer us. I'm Cameron Hagee, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts.
I'm Ryan Fonzie, and I'm Liquid Soap.
And I am Tony Giggles, the giggliest, the gigglinator in all of Giggly Town.
It's pretty giggly.
Mm.
I've been to Giggly Town.
Man, who ain't been to Giggly Town?
I've seen it. I've heard the giggles with my own ears.
Did you run into Mayor Giggles?
No, but I ran into a Groose update. Yo, we missed one last episode. Ready?
Groose.
Right, sounds even better on the new mic. There we go.
Groose.
I realized after editing our last episode and, doing the QC listen, that we never talked about what happened to Groose at the end of that cutscene where Zelda basically dropped all the knowledge on us. He basically decides he's not going to go back to Skyloft, and he kind of drops that information on you right before you start this whole Song of the Hero adventure.
Oh, yeah, actually, I talked to him, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm not going back. Let Stritch and Colin know that I'm happy down here. Like, they'll figure out a way to move on.
He's like, someone's got to look after Granny.
Yeah, he kind of decides that down here is where he's going to try to make a new, I guess it would be a new life for himself, trying to, clean up the area and kind of establish a surface. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I think he even goes and points out this area on the side of the temple where there's a hole in the ground, and he's like, look, I bet anything could grow here. The soil's fertile or whatever. And, he just has a super hopeful moment, and where he makes this decision that he's going to be an agent of change here down on the surface. So I don't know. It's kind of cool. I didn't want to miss it because he doesn't really reiterate that at all in the rest of the game. So it's kind of a big Groose update that I missed, and I just wanted to kind of recover that.
Our Groose knowledge has been refilled.
Right? And it's not like he's not going to be here for this episode too. We have some more Groose stuff on the way, but yeah. I mean, last time we were talking to Levius about getting the pieces of the song from each of the dragons in each region. I know that for me, I recommended not going straight back to Faron Woods immediately, mainly because the first thing that will happen when you get there is you'll be fighting Toothy again.
Yeah.
And having just fought him, this would be the 3rd time, and the 3rd time is just enough to make it the most, it crosses that line of this is mundane. Like, why do I keep fighting this guy?
This is what we were talking about, everyone, at the beginning of this, where we were like, oh boy, we get to do the same thing so many times. This was it.
Yeah. Do we want to actually cover Faron first, or do we want to go somewhere else first? Are you guys cool if we do Faron first?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that.
That's where I went first, so.
That's where I went first as well.
All right, cool. So if you do go there first, prepare for the pain, because
you get there and you hear Toothy teething.
Yeah, right. Like, you just get down, and I think you can get maybe to the Seal Temple, maybe not. But the second you're like, oh, I'm going to go find the dragon, it's like, no, you're not. You're going to go fight Toothy. You hear a big roar. The earth is shaking. Groose is like, get over here. We got to fight this guy again. And I'm like, all right, I guess. You really don't want to, but if he's escaping, I mean, it's really our job. We got to seal him back up,
Yeah. And he has a new gimmick this time. Like last time he had arms. This time he still has arms. And after you hit him once, he starts doing something crazy, man. He takes a page out of the Wright brothers books.
Yeah, Wilbur and Orville, we have to thank for this move. He grows a dark halo. It looks like it's like the Dark Souls ring, right? Like it's ridiculous. Just floats above his head, and then he starts levitating up in the middle of the whole sealed grounds. And it's really cool. I think the first time he does it, maybe first, second, you can shoot him down with the Groosinator. And then after that, Groose runs out of bombs. And, well, he doesn't run out of them. Like a wall collapses.
Yeah, something blocks you from getting to him.
And it gets in the way, and he's like, "You got to get up here." So we do. We run up to Groose, and he's like, "I'm gonna launch you right towards the spike." And he actually, it works way better than it should. You get launched right on top of the imprisoned, and you just run up and smash the spike down while he's still in midair.
Yeah, it was a pretty good action scene.
Get to seal him again. One thing that I kind of noticed about the seals as you go, like the first time you fight him and you have to reseal it, you have to draw a single triangle, I'm pretty sure. And then the second time you fight him, you basically draw two triangles that are kind of like hourglass together a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then the third time you fight him, you basically draw three triangles that are slightly overlapped. Each one is like a different Triforce stage, Not to say which one's which, but the strongest one you draw is an actual three triangles. I thought that was kind of cool.
That is super cool. That is.
Yeah. But then you find out that the way to the rest of Eldon is shut and that something crazy's been going on. And Cam, I don't know if you want to take it from there.
You mean the rest of Pharaon?
Yeah, that's what I meant. What did I say?
You said Eldon.
No! Not that. Pharaon, yeah.
Yeah, so we go over. See, how did we actually get into the part that it's all happening at?
Well, Groose launches us.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so Groose launches us into the rest of Pharaon, and when we see it, it's a little like, what? Because everything up to a good chunk of the tree is just flooded. Everything is just all underwater. And who knows how or why, but everything still seems alive for the moment, so it just happened. There's some lily pads floating around, there's some guys on the lily pads, some stuff going around, so we start swimming. And I took Ryan's advice and I couldn't get 2 upgraded water breathing potions, but I got 1 and then another just regular one because I didn't have all the bugs I needed for the second one. And I wasn't about to go chase down some mantises. I already had to chase down a beetle.
One of the things that helped me was doing that whole Stritch side quest where you had to go get Beetle's Beetle. Because I went and did Stritch's challenges first, I had everything I needed for 2 potions.
Oh, do you get to keep all the bugs you catch during the tests or the things he does?
You do.
Oh.
So that's something.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's probably the easiest way to get bugs is to go there. And even, I don't even know if all the bugs are there until you sign up for a challenge, but you can pretty much just go through and catch everything you see if you really want.
I don't think they are until you actually start it.
Yeah. But it's a good way to grind bugs if that's what you need.
To keep it in mind.
Just like every bug in the game is represented on that island.
Yeah. There's at least 2 of everything.
Yeah.
Alright, so here we are. Swimming. No boat. Just as big of an ocean, it felt like. And as the sand place when we were going through that. And we see one thing that kind of sticks out more than everything else, and that's a bigger than average one of the little guys from the forest on top of a lily pad. And so if we head over to Abucha over here, our friend, he's going to tell us that water just came spouting out the bottom of the tree out of nowhere and everything just flooded and what's going on? Oh my gosh, go to the tree, basically is what he tells you. And so the way to get into the tree, though, isn't quite as simple as it seems. We end up having to swim all the way down to the base and then in through a pretty complex series of, well, not series, but just one long stretching tunnel. That I didn't realize until later on. If you spin into that and hit it, you actually, you get hit and lose extra oxygen and stuff. Because I hadn't actually hit the outsides yet.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was an interesting find.
Gotcha. I know when you spin, it takes up oxygen, but I didn't know if you crash, it also takes up oxygen.
Yeah, you bonk. You bonk and you get knocked back, you stop, and I think you lose a little bit of oxygen on top of that.
Yikes.
Yeah, so don't do that. Be sure you got a straight path before you spinning. And we get up to the middle of the tree, or as far up as we can go, and the water ends, and we climb up. And as soon as we do, we walk over to this little area that's got a little outcropping to the right that's sticking up. Kitty.
There's a cat on this kayak.
There's a cat on my lap. That's
our first guest.
Stuff. Yeah, first guest. Can we get him around? Nope, we can't. Okay. And the water dragon pops out in the water and starts accusing us, who's swimming around in my water? This can't be happening. I'm about to smite somebody. And
Come around my waters.
Yeah, right? Like, accusing us. And then she's like, well, let me get a good look at you. Oh, it's you. It's the guy. Okay, yeah, no, you look a little stronger.
It's
All right.
that guy.
Yeah, the one human I've met in how long? Probably, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's been ages.
And so she guesses immediately what we're here for, which is the hero song. But then she says, it would just be too easy if I just gave it to you. I can't just give it to every hero that comes asking, swimming around in my waters. I mean, I gave you the Triforce Flame before, but this is totally different. This song, a whole nother level, let me tell you.
In true Pharaoh fashion, she just needs us to prove ourselves again.
Like, this one feels kind of insulting, to be honest. Like, you gave us the flame that represents one part of the 3 parts of the almighty force that can change the entire, fate of the world. But we want this 1/3 of a song that only the hero could use, even if a bad guy got it. But no, we need to do something else. Like, come on. At least give me a better reason to go find these fish. Like, my vocal cords, they've been stricken and they've turned into fish, and now you must get them. Like, I would believe that. That would be better.
My vocal cords have been stricken into tad tones.
It's a curse.
Yeah.
Kirahim could have done it. I don't know.
Honestly, I was like, you so nonchalantly and trustingly just entrusted this water basin to me. I thought we were chill. I thought we were friends. We'd pop back with some popcorn or whatever snacks they eat there. And I was like, we're going to be chill. We're going to hang out with all the little octopuses. I forgot their names.
The Pareyas.
My chill friends I met along the journey besides Gorko. And she's like, nah, you not good enough. You ain't not friend. Prove yourself.
Again.
I
totally forgot.
You didn't bring back that basin.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I totally forgot about the basin. We didn't bring it back. This is probably punishment. She's like, yeah, I could just tell you the song, but why don't you just go and swim around for these fish anyways?
Scrapper may have behind the scenes while we were in the temple brought it back to her,
But he broke it, so he fixed it and then he brought it back, or he brought it back in pieces?
He just dropped it. The thing's probably indestructible, to be honest.
Oh, okay. I was misremembering. I thought he dropped it and actually broke it.
No,
he chucked it at the thing. It made a big crash, and then it fell down into an abyss.
and I was like, Pang!
Okay. Yeah, so what are you doing, Water Dragon?
Yeah.
Come on, we should be tight.
Do you want the world to be saved?
Right?
Like, is this? I thought we were all on the same page.
There's no time
Can
limit.
you
It's not like
imagine?
giant death monsters trying to break out, right over there in your backyard.
Can you imagine though? She's like, all right, yeah, you got to go swim and find my vocal cord tad tones in the water. And imagine if Link actually drowned, and Hylia's like, so Water Dragon, what happened to the chosen hero? Well, I kind of thought one more test with the Song of the Hero would make him more courageous, but he kind of drowned doing it. Water Dragon, you had one job. You killed him.
You should have just taught it to him before. Why didn't you? It just slipped your mind, huh?
Did he clear the ancient cistern? Yeah. Okay. So why? Why did you test him again?
Did he go back through again to see you later? Yeah. I'm confused. Help me out here, Water Dragon.
He came back with the full Master Sword, right? Yeah. Okay. you know what's required for that, right?
But you wanted to have him swim a little bit.
Understand this point we're trying to make. To Eldon, I'm going to make another point, and we'll get there when we get there.
All right. I trust you.
These dragons.
So
yeah, we got to go find these tad tones. They're little tadpoles, different color, and they kind of look like little music notes, some of them. And you go and you swim into them, and you pick them up, and you got to mix them match them to the notes you have, and the colors are you can see how many you need for the string. And
yeah,
it wasn't too hard.
You know what surprised me? Because I played this game back in 2011. I forgot how many of them there were. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, there were a lot.
this is the part where I gotta go find some tadpoles, whatever. I remember swimming through them, no big deal. She's like, oh yeah, go find these for me real quick. Here, I'll give you some sheet music so you know which ones you need. And it was like 32 measures, and I was like, dude, can we not? Like, why are you giving me a whole opus over here? Like, come on.
Yep.
It's just a lot.
It is a lot.
It was an overwhelming graphic to look at when she threw it up on the screen all empty like that.
I'm just going to throw some numbers out there and be like, I got like 60% through and I was totally fine just breezing, catching them like as I went. And then from 60 to 80, it was a crawl. And then I went up and talked to Bucha, who then teaches you how to like look for them with your sword. So I found Douse. Yes, the best ability in the game. Sorry, how could I forget?
Best ability in the game. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
With Douse again.
Yeah, I mean, but 7 out of 10 because there's a little too much water here. But, you know, conflicting, I guess we could settle like a 8.5.
I'm good with an 8.5.
Yeah, perfect. IGN agrees. And
it's got a little something for everyone.
We doused for it. I could find the last 3. I remembered where they were. I went from 1 to 1. From 1 to the next, and I got them and finished it up. Got the song, and then we skedaddle out of there.
Yeah, I mean, and the potion makes this kind of trivial, right?
Yeah,
like if you don't have the water potion upgraded, like just to be clear for our, like this is why you want it, right? Like if you get a potion, it gives you 3 minutes where your stamina wheel goes, or your, you know, in this case it's your oxygen wheel, but it works just like the stamina wheel. It goes down slower. If you get it upgraded, you get 3 minutes where your oxygen level will not go down, no matter what happens. So whereas if you go in without a potion, this kind of feels like a Sonic the Hedgehog underwater level where you have to like catch every bubble you see and do that kind of thing. Instead, it becomes straight up. I mean, it's not quite like Majora's Mask swimming, but you know, you just do whatever you want. You go down there, like you can just swim through purple bubbles, no problem. Like your oxygen wheel gets lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yep.
And you can just do what you want for 3 minutes. So I got most of them that way on my first dive.
This level, honestly, feel like it was one of my favorite landscapes in the game. And the reason why I say that is, did you guys, I don't know about Cameron, but Fonz, do you remember Dire Docks from Super Mario 64? Like water level where you like dive down. It was like that relaxing, calming music.
Was it all weirdly green for some reason?
Kinda. It was like a tealish sea green, yeah. And there was like just a deep sinkhole with like a pirate ship at the bottom.
Yeah, you like swim around collecting the red coins and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's exactly the vibe I got from this Zelda level, and I secretly loved it. Like, it was just such a weird change in scenery. I mean, yeah, we had like a water part before, but it wasn't anything crazy. There's not really that many enemies. This was like a whole previous place just flooded. That was like, I think, the biggest change in scenery we've had in the game. Everything else has been pretty straightforward, like land, pirate ship boating, kinda cool. And they're just like, let's flood everything.
Yeah, it worked.
You know, it's really cool to make like the scene change. It was funny that the driving parts of it were like, you know, there was monsters all over the forest, and Farron eventually was just fed up with that, and they're like, nah, no more of this, and she just floods the place. And then after you're done with collecting the Tadtones, she drains it back out. But there's still way less enemies in the forest after that. Like if you walk around, it's actually pretty peaceful now, which is kind of a cool thing.
I think it went back to, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it went back to the beginning of the game, the way it was.
Oh, where it's just like low level, like bokoblins.
Yeah, instead of like the high level populated enemies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. One other thing I wanted to mention about this place, now that we've done the Song of the Hero part, we can actually complete another side quest as well. I mean, I think you can actually do it right in the middle of this part of the Song of the Hero if you really wanted to. But the Professor Owlin back at Skyloft, at this point in the game, will start. He'll have a little side quest bubble where, you know, he's in his office and he's just thinking about stuff. And he's like, you know, I think I've researched every plant that there is on all of Skyloft. and just in the great sky. He's like, I really feel like my research has come to a pretty strong stopping point, and I wish there was something else to look at. And he's like, well, you keep going down to the surface. Like, maybe there's something there. Maybe you can find me some strange new plant to start looking into. And immediate Fee's like, yeah, I know the guy. And it's kind of like the Plow Needed. It's kind of like the Plow Needed quest where, we brought up a Magma for Kina. But in this case, we're bringing back a Kikwi for Professor Owlin. And it is Machi. So we come down and we can douse for Machi, go find him. And he's looking for, he's like, like the Pharaon did clear out this area of monsters and it's pretty peaceful, but I really just feel like I need somewhere even safer, like somewhere where things are just peaceful all the time. And you're like, yo, I know a spot. You might be somebody's guinea pig, but I mean, hey, it's a trade-off. So you bring him back up to Skyloft and you bring him to Professor Owlin, who's immediately like, is this even a plant or is this an animal? Like, what is this thing? I definitely need to research this guy and just check him out forever. And so now they're the best of friends and roommates, and you can get some gratitude crystals.
Aw.
So. Yeah, now Machi's actually kind of uncomfortable with the whole arrangement, but it works out, I guess. It's funny.
He's like, I'm safe, I think.
Yeah, the dude immediately pokes his plant tail thing, and Machi's like, please don't touch me there. Like, all right, okay. So, they have some learning about boundaries and stuff to go through, but they'll figure it out.
They got this.
Cool. So, yeah. After we get done with Pharaon, we can head to Eldon, right?
Yeah, that'd be the next one.
I'm not gonna lie. I tried to go to Lanayru at some point in the middle of all this, and they actually force you to do it last in the game.
They were like, nah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. A couple times they were like, no, we're not doing this. I'm like, oh, okay. Sounds good. So yeah, Eldon.
And you fly through to Eldon, and everything's like normal as you start flying down. It's like, oh yeah, and then all of a sudden, there's this like strong ash wind that just blows Link away. And it's like, whoa, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden, you wake up in a jail cell. You're like, what? Excuse me? Like, huh? Like, so confusing. I'm not going to lie. So when I first did this whole entire part, I don't know if I hated it the first time I played this game back in like 2011 or what, but I remembered both Eldon, or sorry, not Eldon. I just did the thing you did earlier. I remembered Pharaon and I remembered Lanayru. I didn't remember anything about this. The geography of the layout of the place. That was it. I had not remembered any of it. It slipped my mind. Don't remember doing any of this. I don't know why. I think I might have hated it back then. I didn't particularly
Me too, man.
Like it now. Let me just get into it though. You're in jail, walk around a little bit, and all of a sudden magma will pop out of the ground, and it is none other than Platz. And Platz basically comes out of the ground, and he's like, hey, what are you doing over here? I'm here to save the day, And then, like, he's like, hey, there's some bad guys over there up on the mountain, and it's crazy over here. The volcano went, what's going on, man? I don't know what's going on, but, hey, you look like you're stuck in here, so how about I give you these mogmits I found, There's some treasure. And I don't think he knew that. Oh, yeah, he does think, I think he tells us about our stuff. So we have an escape route.
He does.
Oh, and I want to say this is the almost obligatory trapped in prison for just a few minutes in a Zelda game moment.
Yeah.
A lot of Zelda games have you in a prison cell for a very brief period of time.
Yeah, it's actually our obligatory stealth mission as well.
Yeah.
We haven't actually come up to one of those yet. So
we had our escort, and now we have this. This gem.
Whatever this is. Yeah. No, I think it's funny because Platz tells you about your treasure to the point where he tells you where your first 4 or 5 items are and what they are.
Oh.
And I'm like, yo, Platz, if you know what's in the chests, why don't you go get them and bring them back to me? Like, what are...
Right.
What
you already got one of them. So I wanted to bring something up, and then I know Cameron's going to piggyback off of me of what I say, because not only does Platz help us, right, in the cell, I'm like, you know what? Thank you, Platz. Thank you. That is all, though. That's all I need from you. You got me what I needed. I'll be on my way to kill all the bokoblins and yeah, peace. No, he doesn't stop there. You go outside and you start walking around a little bit. Then he pops back out of the ground. He's like, hey, what are you doing over here? You're not supposed to be walking around. There's bokoblins everywhere. You can get put back in the cell, man. What you doing? And it's like, hold on. Stop having a fee moment. Okay, I'm going to go do my thing. Chill out. I got this. I'm Link or Lunker or D-Lunker, whatever you named your guy. And we're going to go do something. Then he shows you the map and everything after that again. I'm like, he's having a fee moment. And I know Cameron and probably Fonzie, you guys are going to piggyback off of that with fee because, well, you don't have a Master Sword, right?
Yeah.
You don't.
At the point where we finally get the Master Sword back, when me and Anthony were playing together, I picked it up, and the second you pick it up and, like, put it away, fee comes out, and I was just like, oh, I just realized that there's been kind of a hidden blessing the entire time I've been playing this level, and Anthony's like, what? I said, we didn't have fee.
I was like, oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, this is what this feels like, oh, yeah.
I was like, my battery level was really low, and I didn't have that stupid, because, you know, the Wii remotes have batteries, people. We're not playing on the Switch version here, what Cameron is. And when your battery's low, she dings you every second, like, ding, 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 until you press the down arrow, and then she goes, hey, I just wanted to let you know, okay, that your battery is low, so, you know, you better put in some batteries, because we don't want you, like, you know, dying from anything, because your battery's low, okay? Even though I pause the screen when your battery runs out, because, you know, I don't want you dying, so I gotta let you know. I'm like, Fee, just please, let me play the game.
Yeah. Yeah, when I finish this game, this is like total side note, has nothing to do with what we're doing, but because you know some of us have already beaten this game at this point. My time on the play clock was like 41 hours, and I know that that's, you know, because I'm walking around looking at stuff on extra, like I'm going down talking to Groose times that I really don't need to go talk to Groose. You know, it's just my playthrough was a little bit different than normal, but in that time, I think I had to change my batteries maybe like 3 or 4 times. So, like, you know, one set of batteries every 10 hours of gameplay, like, that's not too bad. But it always comes across kind of weird. Definitely breaks immersion when Fee's like, hey, so your Wiimote there, getting kind of low. All right, Fee. All right. It's just funny. Your Wiimote is the sword handle in a way, like that's kind of the analog, right?
If he should pop out, be like, I'm dying.
I think even if you have the volume up on your Wiimote, it actually makes noises from the speaker on that too.
Yeah,
he has the thing.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah. Anyway, back to the game.
So I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember the exact like pathings and different ways you could be stealthy, but I do want to say, just have fun with this part. You get your items back, and you don't have your sword, so you can get creative with how you want to dispose of the bokoblins. I know I did get the gust bellows first, which was useless. Junk. Did not. I mean, it cleared paths, but useless. Then you get the claw shots.
You can't actually dispose of the bokoblins until later. I mean, except for the bomb ones.
Yeah, true.
They don't give you any item that'll actually kill them until you get your sword back.
True. They do give you bombs that you don't get your actual bomb bag back, but you can pick up bombs like across the way and like kill them that way. But until you get your bomb bag back, your adventure pouch or whatever.
Did either of you guys get caught?
I got caught at least once.
Very beginning.
And what? Yeah, no, not very beginning. I got my slingshot back, which I had upgraded to like scatter shot or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going through this little maze area trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go next. And it's like, it's just like the bokoblins put up some fences, so there's places you couldn't go, and I had to figure out where I was supposed to go next. And I went to go shoot this bokoblin, and he was standing facing away from me. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I shoot, and every shot on the scatter shot goes around the bokoblin, and he turns around and caught me. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Oh no!
And that's how I got caught. It was rough. Also, it's like third-person shooter, so I may have clipped a corner of a wall in front of me or something like that too. It was bad. But yeah, that was the one time. They launch a catapult at you.
They do.
I didn't actually get caught, so I didn't know.
Yeah, there's some bokoblins up on a hill that have a big old catapult with a giant rock, and they just chuck it, and like Link looks up and screams, and
he can't dodge it.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't even take you back to the jail cell. It just takes you back to the beginning of whatever section you were on.
Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering if it would take you back to a cell.
Nope.
If it was Wind Waker, it would have.
Or Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep. It's not fun, but let's see here. What did I do next? I think after the claw shots, isn't it the slingshot?
Isn't it the whip?
Oh, yeah, it's the whip, because then you need to whip the bridge lever down to get across the bridge towards the middle of the map. Yeah, you're right.
Then you get the slingshot.
Yeah, then you get the slingshot. Then you get to ride down some lava. You get to do lava surfing on the platforms to get down to the very bottom level to blow up the watchtower. That was a fun part.
Bruh.
And then I think the final part was the part where you have to go through the top of the map where I think it was the fire temple, the first temple was, and the bokoblins have set up camp there, which you could take this route very stealthily and try to play the game like Metal Gear Solid, or you can just stun everybody and blow them up.
Yeah, if you get this, that's where I got caught with the slingshot, was up in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember I circled around because there was this little like elevated platform that had a goddess cube and a side quest item up there that I'll talk about after we're done with this area.
Okay.
But I remember going up an air geyser being like, where am I supposed to go? And running around in circles here a while because I didn't realize that there was actually another path elsewhere. I think you get the bomb bag over here, right?
Yeah, you get the whole adventure pouch.
Oh.
Yeah, it refills all your like potions and all that other junk. Your shield, bomb bag.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
No, that's at the summit. That's at the end.
Oh, was it? Well, then you just get
just
get the bomb bag. Yeah, I thought it was the whole adventure pouch that you got there. But
no, because I remember you get all these key items, and then when you finally get to the summit, you get your sword back. Spoiler. And then there's just a treasure chest that has
right, because
there's
there's a treasure chest at the top. All right, so yeah, once you get past this part, you get to the summit and you walk in, and it's like little homage to the Sword in the Stone. Pull the Master Sword out. I love pulling the Master Sword out. So much fun.
Yeah, so I got lost. That time when I got caught is because I was kind of lost, and I think is because I got the bomb bag and didn't think to myself, where have I seen a spot that I need to bomb? And so I was running around like, there's got to be a door to go to the next section or something. I didn't put two and two together that I could open up the geyser to get to the top of everything. Because I'm pretty sure that's what you're supposed to do with the bomb bag. You go back down and like you open up the geyser, and the geyser will shoot you back up, and then you can get to the summit where you finish. So I got lost at the finish line is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not a great moment, but we figured it out eventually. It's all good.
So from here, basically, yeah, I think there's like a little spot you can kill a bunch more bokoblins, and I forgot what that middle area was for. There's just like a middle area that you kill a bunch of bokoblins. I think it's like maybe a heart container or something pops up. Don't really remember.
Yeah, I don't know. After
no, I think that is the adventure pouch?
Yeah, that's the rest of your stuff. Yeah, that's the adventure pouch and any other items you were missing.
Yeah, I forgot that part after the sword. I didn't remember where you got your adventure pouch back. I just knew it was somewhere. So yeah,
they try to make it really exciting to get your sword back because before that you couldn't take anybody out. You had to play stealth, and once you get your sword, you're like, all right, I don't gotta play stealth no more. And then immediately they're like, well, here's like 8 bokoblins all in a circle down here. Just trying to guard the rest of your stuff. Why don't you jump down and wipe them out? And it's fun. It's exciting. I'm like, yeah, that's what we do with this. Sounds good.
Goddess tornado.
Yeah.
I had to do it.
You get your revenge for all the trouble from Elden.
All right. So yeah, we get to go now through the other side of the summit, which we couldn't access before. Because the volcano exploded, there is now platforms that are moving across this lava, and we slash the ropes, knock down the drawbridge, and right away we meet the Dragon of Elden. And now this is I'm gonna circle back to the point that I made with the water dragon, who was being a little bit of a stingy friend, because this guy, you come up and talk to him, he's like, wow, a human. I haven't seen one of you in a long time. And then he's like, I'm sorry that it kind of made the volcano explode. I'm not feeling well, and well, it was caused by my power. So I'm just really sorry about that. You appear to be the chosen hero, so I'm just gonna give you the song. Here it is, by the way. All right, man. Peace. Chill out, man. Have fun killing evil and stuff. Peace. And like that was the interaction. Basically, it was like the most short-lived like meeting with a dragon. Like he's just like, oh, sorry that I blew smoke in your eyes. Here's the song. We didn't have to do anything once we met him.
This is the most short-lived interaction with any of the dragons that we get, and the dude is just all business. He just comes out and he's like, "Oh yeah, sorry about the eruption. Here's your song. Have a good one, man." It's like, okay, I guess. I just fought through a whole bokoblin encampment that came up in the ashes for some reason.
Man, he's got to get back for his Uber Dragon Eats that's about to get here.
It's like, I got some minestrone on the way, man. It's about 5 minutes out. It's about to pull up. I got to go get that. Y'all have a good one. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty much, that's how that wraps up. Honestly, he's my favorite king. My favorite dragon. I'm acting over here like he's royalty. I mean, he might be. Who knows, But
let me tell you about this king over here.
This is the dragon's royal family. No, so the dragon he's my favorite dragon. But I do love and appreciate the next dragon that we meet, even though, Fonz is gonna get into it. But
so this is well, before we go to Lanayru, there's one other side quest that I'll just cover real quick. I know these side quests aren't getting all the love the other ones have gotten, but we got other stuff to talk about right now. So back up in Skyloft again. Now that we've cleared this out, you actually can't finish this during the trial that we just ran. In the middle of the stealth mission, nothing will work. You need Fee for this because it's another Scrapper and Fee adventure. But yeah, if you go up to Skyloft, you can talk to the fortune teller, who unfortunately has broken their crystal ball. Like they dropped it and it shattered or something like that. It's kind of hard to shatter a crystal ball if I got that right. I mean, a big solid ball of glass is, it's usually pretty tough if you find one of those. At most you'll like chip it, but usually shattering it's not really a thing. But anyway, so fortune teller has shattered their crystal ball and they need a new one so they can tell the fortunes again. Obviously, you can't, get a real unclear picture if you look into a broken one.
Why doesn't she just get good and not use a fortune ball,
Just use your third eye.
Just like get an iPad.
Don't you have tarot cards or something? Like why?
You don't have a backup? What kind of business is this? You don't have a backup.
You don't have a backup.
Who taught you how to be a fortune teller anyway? So Fee's like, hey, it looks like that ball is probably one in a set. It came from a pair. I'm like, how would you even know that? Like, I'm gonna set the dowsing to find this again. And you're like, all right, cool. So if you go back to Eldon, it's actually at the entrance to the Earth Temple. This is where I was talking about the geyser. You can stick a little geyser up, and there's a goddess cube up there on the platform. Mm-hmm. And then from that platform, I think there's actually a claw shot spot that you can hit, and it'll take you over to where there is another crystal ball just chilling on like a little pedestal. And there's another pedestal on the other side that's missing its crystal ball. So I don't know how this fortune teller got the first one, but you go and you grab the second one too. Grab that backup that was left on the surface. So I take it back, and they're super happy. They can read the future again, and they give you some gratitude. And that's actually the last bit of gratitude crystals, other than the ones that are like scattered about on Skyloft and the other islands, because there are some of those as well. But other than that, all of the mission ones we have now covered. So when we get to it next episode, we can talk about Betro and what happens with that guy, which will be cool. He'll be a part of our finale. It'll be great.
Hey.
Yeah. So that brings us to Lanayru. If you come down to Lanayru Canyon before you've done the other two areas, Golo will still be in his cave with his pickaxe and still be wondering about the dragons. He might even comment on the fact that you're looking for them. He's like, oh man, you're like on a mission to meet the dragons or whatever. That's super cool. Yeah, I'm still trying to get through here. It's like, all right, Golo. But you come back this time and he'll actually have already cleared out the path. he made a path that's too small for him to get through, but it's a crawl path so Link can get through it. And so you do. You literally just go back to where Golo was and you can crawl through the path. You head outside and we get the last area of Lanayru, the Lanayru Sansi that we have yet to be at. It's called the Lanayru Canyon.
Gourd.
Well, is it the gorge? Oh, all right. My notes say canyon because whatever.
Well, to be fair, there is a part of it that is kind of like a canyon.
Yeah. I mean, the part that I'm talking about here is kind of like that.
Yeah.
But we walk out into this grand escarpment here. We walk out, and the first thing that you might notice is that there's a big circle of metal on the ground that looks like it's supposed to hold something. But just past that, in front of us, is a set of dragon bones.
And then, like, your heart just sinks.
Yeah, right? You're kind of like, oh, man, I was too late, though. Lanayru, what happened? But you might get the idea, like, okay, well, clearly they're not just going to stop me here. I have to find something, right? Like, I don't know if it's going to be written on a wall or whatever, or, maybe I have to get a time shift stone over here, which is actually the right thinking. But, you explore the area a little bit more and you'll find that there's a sign that basically says this is, I don't remember if there's another mining area. There's like a special program that's been going on in this area, but it's locked up to anyone who's not, an ancient robot or an employee or whatever. It's basically you're only allowed to go through if you have permission from Lanayru. So you go take a left from that sign, go down a little ways, and you'll see that below where Lanayru's bones rest, there's a key that I guess he dropped somewhere in his dying moments on a platform below him. You can take your little beetle and you can send it down there and it'll grab that key for you, no problem.
And you can't drop down onto it like Spider-Man, though. This game really does not make you feel like Spider-Man.
No,
not at this part. But yeah, so you get the key that's down in the crevasse, and you can take it over to what is essentially a time shift gauntlet. Like this part of the game, it was so cool, but it's so continuous, and they throw you like one obstacle after another. Basically, you activate a time shift stone, and it starts this journey, and it goes through Vale and Mountain, just all across. Like it goes around this entire area that just gives you all kinds of past enemies to fight.
It's time to play Skyward Sword Fall Guys Season 1!
Right? It's pretty good. I felt like I had learned how to play this game well when I was doing this section, because there were times when the time shift stone was going through and you have to time where you're climbing on vines and stuff like that, and you go through, you have to fight off some Beamos and some Technoblins and stuff. It's just it's really good. It felt really intense, and at this whole time, the fact that you're able to kind of manage it, I did get left behind by the cart once, and that didn't feel good. The cart came up to a door that I couldn't get through, and it stopped, right? Which is unusual. There are not many stopping points on this path. But you go over and you pull a little, like you run up the wall and pull a lever, and it's really simple, and the door opens up and the cart goes through. And of course, I was streaming the game at this point, so I go and I turn to chat, and I'm like talking to chat thinking, oh yeah, I have a minute here to breathe. And the cart goes through and the door shuts behind the cart. And I just had to wait for the present day to clear out the future bubble, and Link just sank into the sinking sand. And I was like, oof. Well, there we go. there's the doom of Hyrule right there. So, but other than that, I was actually able to get through pretty well.
I want to give a word of warning to all the poor saps like me and Fonz who have a Wii remote. Please, before doing this area, or at least getting to the cave, that you make sure that your Wii remote is calibrated so that it's pointing at your sensor bar. Because if you're having the problem like me, like the last episode where your Wii remote is pointing west when it's pointing straight, and you're trying to hookshot the vines in time in the cave to make sure that you don't fall behind from the thing, but your Wii remote's pointing west and you turn west because you have to turn your thing, and then Link does like 6 360s because he's not recognizing that he's actually pointing straight, and your Wii remote's just spinning because you're not calibrated, so you take the batteries out and try to get it just make sure it's calibrated. Or you're going to struggle in the caves because for some reason, like, I don't know, it was like the way I'm sitting or something, but like it keeps thinking that my Wii remote is pointing west.
So
when it's
you
straight.
see the time shift stone, before you start the gauntlet, calibrate your Wiimote.
Pretty much.
It's like,
Or
Make
play,
sure it's
play the
straight.
HD version.
Yeah, or get a Switch controller.
yeah, if you're a member of the bourgeoisie, go ahead and do that. No, it's all good.
I'm bougie boy.
So yeah, so we get around this big circle, and eventually you get that time shift stone back to where Lineru is. It'll go and sit right in the middle of the big circle, and it'll like shut off and then turn back on tenfold and cover the whole area around you. And our friend Lineru, luckily, is alive in the past, so
Barely.
he pops back up. Yeah, he's still on the ground. He doesn't really like pop up into the air. He's still where his bones are, and he's sick, man. He's coughing up a lung. It's like, you're probably here for the song, but seeing that you got the look of the hero or whatever.
The
But
weirdest thing, my vocal cords turned into tadpoles.
basically, I've been coughing on Tadtone this whole time. No, but he is sick. He's got this mean cough, and it looks like he's not long for this world. And so he's like, the robots were on this goal to try to grow a tree of life over there in that little area. They're trying to help me out, but at this point, I don't think it's gonna work. The thing's not really growing. The ground's not really great over here. And so you take this as your hint. You can go over there because right now it's not covered by the time shift stone, but you can see this big dead tree. So if you head on over, you can shift time, and you find there are some robots, some ancient robots who are trying to plant a seed sitting there on the ground, and they're trying to make sure that it's watered or whatever. And it's just got a little sprout. Like, it's not even close to being a tree, let alone growing fruit. So you can straight up steal it. And the little robot would be like, "Hey, what are you doing with that?" He's like, "Wait, unless you intend to help. Are you here to help?" And you can be like, "Yeah, I'm here to help." He's like, "Oh, okay, great. All right. If you can figure out a good way to get that thing to grow, go for it." So you take the seed.
Yeah, it was pretty good. When he turns around, he's like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" "Oh, you helping? Okay."
All right. Well, in that case, I wasn't gonna get this thing to grow. You probably have a better shot. It's like, all right. So I mean, this is the seed to the tree of life. So clearly it's important. I don't see many trees of life anywhere in this game. So
And so where do we go with everything that's important? Right to Groose.
man, and Grease will still be sitting there like, man, this soil is so fertile, man. This is gonna anything if we just put it there. I didn't try this, but I know that if you try to plant the seed in the present day, I don't know if it's Fee that tells you or if the game just pops up a screen of Link thinking to himself or what. But basically it's like, yeah, that's not really going to do much there like that. Why would you don't do that? So you grab it, you go to the past, and you can plant it in the Temple of Hylia, as it's called in the past. It has the same little grove with the same little hole in the ground. And you can go plant it back there and then come back to the future / present. And it will be a full tree with one fruit on it. And it looks a lot like a mango.
A giant mango.
It's a big mango.
It's a big...
You'll make
It's
like
a mango.
200 fruit smoothies with that baby.
Yeah, one thing I found, I went looking into this because, Tree of Life, I'm like, that's a common thing. Like, Tree of Life isn't... Like, this is probably took some inspiration from somewhere. And so I went looking, and I mean, obviously, there's a biblical Tree of Life, but that's not...
Yggdrasil?
Yggdrasil is a good one. I don't know if Yggdrasil, I can't pronounce that word very well.
Yggdrasil
actually bears fruit. I know that it's like the world tree, right?
Yeah.
It's funny. The one that I actually found that I think this is taking from in Taoism, in the Taoist belief system, there is a tree of life that is said to bear one fruit every 3,000 years. And it's like a fruit that can heal any ailment, basically.
A miracle fruit.
And it's a peach. So it's not a mango. It's a peach.
I approve.
I guess. This is like a little wiki search. This isn't even, don't take my word for it. I'm not a Taoist. I don't actually know very well. But from what I found, like that was the most similar thing to this, which, I mean, I don't think that the time period is supposed to be 3,000 years based on that, but the fact that it is just one fruit and it is something that is supposed to cure the sickness of the dragon, that to me says that it was kind of inspired by that.
So I know in Old Norse, and this was a spiral that I took from a few years ago when I was naming Cinder. I got really big into Norse mythology. But Mjolnir, which is basically another name in Older Norse for our Yggdrasil, was a tree that bared fruit that for a pregnant woman, basically, to give better chances for fertility, essentially. And I think through time, that was like the older tale, Mimir. And I think through time, the tree had been through tales and tales and tales, and it had become Yggdrasil. And I don't know anything about Yggdrasil, but I don't think the dragon's pregnant. But I mean,
no,
he might be. Who knows? He did make little robot babies everywhere. So
I mean, Yggdrasil is the giant tree in Norse mythology that all the worlds are like connected to, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we take our mango of immortality over here. Woo. At which, I mean, let me just say, we can pocket it. We don't need to get Scrapper on this one for some reason. It's like bigger than we are, but we can just, carry it like normal.
Animal Crossing syndrome.
Me, it's just a little bit, bigger than a pinwheel, I gotta say. Maybe even a little bit bigger than a crystal ball. Okay, listen, guys, I just feel like there's some other things we could have pocketed that for some reason we needed Scrapper for.
I think we probably could have pocketed it all because it's a video game.
And
yeah.
And you're going to tell me
there it is.
That Link can carry all the things in his adventure pouch and 10 bombs, which are, correct me if I'm wrong, about a radius of like 2 inches bigger than his own head, and he's carrying 10 of them. And you're telling me that
I carry 15.
Okay, so you have an even expanded bomb bag, and you're telling me that he couldn't even pick up the windmill like fan thing that wasn't even that big. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, even if that was like, oh no, this is where we draw the line, you could have like emptied your bomb pouch and then put the pinwheel in there with there's now space,
If this was
right?
Why?
If this was Ocarina of Time Link, with the silver bracelets, he would have just picked up the water dragon's water basin, jumped to where he needed to, just dumped it.
Hilarious.
Yeah, honestly, this should just be a whole measure in the game of bombs. Like, if you like to carry this item, you will require 5 bombs of space. Everything is equated to bombs.
It's like you get the RE4 like briefcase.
Yes.
Just organize it like, oh, I don't have any space in this briefcase, so I'll get rid of some of these bombs.
It looks more like a professional Chinese checkers like briefcase though, because it's just a bunch of circles.
Wow. All right. It's all bomb space, man.
That's right, bomb management.
Yeah, so we take this mango in our pocket and we get it back over to Lineru, like we hit his time shift stone so we can come back to life again, because when you go and you can only have one time shift stone active at a time. And when I went to go like bring the tree of life back, I looked over and saw his bones again and got sad. So we can go bring him back from his bones, and Link goes up with the fruit and literally does it's like the chain, like how you do like shot put, but you can do the one that has the chain on it and you spin it around and chuck it. I don't remember what that one's actually called. But you sling this thing, like Link spins it around and slings it up in the air, and it's like a perfect arc, and the dude just like chomps down on it. And the whole time I'm sitting here, I'm like, yo, if you miss, that mango is going down into the canyon.
Right.
It's not the best way to do this. You could have just handed it to him. But, he eats it in one gulp and then has a big explosion of energy, just like he, had a can of Power Thirst.
Yes.
And it's like, this tastes amazing. It's like, it's energy for dragons. Drenergy. It's
Drag energy.
You're going to sing all the songs.
He's like, I'm going to sing the song for you now. It's like you got to, cover your ears. Like, basically, like, these pipes got some sound to them. And, like, does his song super loud. And, it's our last piece of the song. So Yeah, he if you talk to him again after this, he'll tell you like, hey, you know what? Come back here after you're done doing what you're doing. I'll have something for you. Basically a challenge for you. So, yeah, so we can go back to Skyloft. We can go back to the Thunderdome. The Thunderdome. The Thunderhead. Which is actually what it's called. And Levius will finish this song for us. We'll, all the dragons show up in the cutscene too. And they all go around. They sing this. They all come together and they all do this 4-part counterpoint harmony. And Link is kind of floating in space. Well, not space. Like he's floating in the clouds for whatever reason. And Fi shows up. And it's this whole big thing where they sing what is basically the Legend of Zelda Overworld theme.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, the song of the hero, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool that they did that. They made like an orchestrated version. I will say that none of the harmonies sound anything like it.
No.
So up until this point, it doesn't sound anything like the Legend of Zelda theme. I think Levius's part is the part that actually sounds like it. So you won't hear that until you come back. And so you get it. And we're able to go to our next section. But I didn't, not yet. And that's going to be what we cover in our finale episode.
Yeah, we're going to save it.
But there is one other thing that's significant that you can do now. Like the other two areas had their side quests. This one, Lanayru, has a side quest, but it's not for gratitude. It's for the Hylian Shield. You know it, you love it, you've used it in just about every other game that
You want to know
Zelda in the title.
You want to know how excited I was? When I was playing with Cameron, I just immediately left after the whole Thunder Dragon song thing, and then I went right back. I didn't even go to Levius. I was like, Levius, you can wait. You can wait. Because I'm getting this shield. And I was on the thing with Cameron, like, playing these bosses, and I was like, oh, another one down. Got him in the dust. And I was like, oh, we so close. We at 5. We gonna do this, Cameron. I just need one more. I just need one more for the shield. That's all I need. I'm almost there, man. Woo, yeah. And I was like, 6, that's it. And he's like, oh, you get a rare treasure. I was like, yeah, give me that shield. And then I quit.
Oh, no.
I quit.
Oh, no.
And I only got an evil crystal. What is that? What is
that? The rare treasure is not the shield. He'll tell you it's a ridiculously durable shield.
I didn't know it was 8. I thought it was 6. And I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this again. When I was like, I'll get it another time. I have a fully upgraded Sacred Shield. It's fine.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about it. Because you get the fully upgraded Sacred Shield, and you do not need a Hylian Shield.
Mm-mm.
Like, there's no reason except that if you're not good at parrying, I guess, like, you can break a shield. The Goddess Shield does heal itself, though. So if you just take a break, it'll usually be fine.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I still wanted it because I like it. So I did go back and I got the Hylian Shield. I played again and got the heart piece because there's a different level for that. And you'd only get one of the rewards at a time. Like they don't accumulate. So if you get one thing and you wanted one of the other rewards, you have to play it again. So that was rough.
Now, let me ask
That's
you.
whack.
Let me ask you, Ryan, because the 12th reward is, basically the game is just like, hey, you ever dreamed of being Elon Musk, but in a Zelda game? Well, now you can. Because let's give you 9,999 rupees.
Wow.
If you win at 12. And I'm like, I ask you, is there a wallet that can hold that? Because right now I'm only at I think 2,000.
Yes, but not until you do the thing with Petro.
Oh, okay.
Because he'll give you the Tycoon wallet, and that thing holds a lot. It's like thousands of rupees. But yeah, and before that, it would just fill up whatever wallet you had if you don't have that. So one thing I'll say is you don't need that. There's no reason for that. I didn't need rupees when I did. Again, we went to Lanayru. He calls it the lightning round, right? Because it's just a boss rush, basically, that you can go do. It's great to relive all those moments, especially, if you're getting towards the end of the game and, you don't really want to play the whole game again. You just want to fight the bosses. You can just go back and do that whenever. That feels pretty cool. But yeah, I just got the shield and the heart piece and I was like, all right, bye. Because I've already bought everything from Beetle. There's no need for these rupees anymore. It's so late in the game that we really, after this, we have a silent realm, one dungeon, and then kind of the finale. So what do you need? What do you need at this point? Like, even getting the shield at this point feels kind of lame because I'm like, I got one dungeon to use this nice shield.
Right.
Like, it would have been nice if halfway through the game I could get this.
I mean, like, yeah, if you still haven't done all the things that you needed to do, and you still get the shield. I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah, like if I hadn't done any side quests at all, I'm
Yeah.
sure it would have been nice to backtrack with a shield that, I'd have to worry about. But even then, it's just so late in the game.
Yup. We haven't gone over it yet, but it's kind of like Breath of the Wild. The natural time you'd find the Hylian shield in Breath of the Wild would be like right before you beat Ganon, because you wouldn't really want to go to his castle until you're ready, right? And that's where it is.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild is a little bit better at that, though, I think.
And the only
I get what
reason
you're saying.
for
Like,
that
it
is like
that.
A little bit, yeah.
there's so much open land. Once you get the shield and beat Ganon, there's still so much of the game that you can do with the shield. Like, beating Ganon, you can honestly beat him in like a few hours. But
Yeah, I mean, the thing I remember is that in that game, there's a bunch of like in Breath of the Wild, there's a bunch of NPCs who will give you missions that involve going to the castle and like finding some random thing that doesn't necessarily involve fighting Ganon. So there's a lot of encouragement to go and try to explore that area before you're actually ready to beat the game. So for me, I know I did. I went there probably once or twice before I actually intended to fight the boss, just to explore and try to find some stuff around the area. So
hey, Link, I was
in
wondering.
that respect, you could get in pretty easy and get that shield earlier on than the end of the game if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I was just thinking because you said like there's side quests that people like ask you to retrieve things from Hyrule Castle, like the destroyed castle that happened 100 years ago, and I'm just thinking like some guy comes up to you, he's like, "Hey, I have a side quest for you, Link. My grandma had left her feather duster in the castle because she was the maid, and it's an heirloom that's been passed down for generations, and how am I gonna clean my house without this feather duster? Link, I need you to retrieve it. It should be somewhere in the Great Hall, please." like, what would you need from the castle? It's been 100 years and destroyed. Like, so confused.
Yeah, they're all like rumors and stuff. Like one dude's like, "Oh, there's some knight's outfit or something in there. I would really like to see what that looks like." And someone else is like, "Oh, there's a recipe for some kind of dish in there. And, like, I really would like to see what that is." And then I think someone might even call out that there's a shield there, but I don't know. A bunch of people just want to see stuff that's in there that has been rumored to be there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think
so that
wraps it up, right?
that covers it. Yeah. I mean, this is like been a pretty short episode, honestly. So next time we hop on here, we will be talking about the end of the game, including the ending of Betroth's story. So, we'll be covering the last Silent Realm. We'll be covering the last dungeon and the last boss.
And it's the last Groose update.
The last.
Yeah,
Actually, I should be like, it's gonna be the last Groose update, man. So sad.
Yeah, we're gonna be wrapping up that particular legend. Man, it's gonna be sad going through all these other games that don't have Groose in them.
Groosey Chris.
We'll find a way to carry on.
We just have to find a
no
Groose equivalent in every Zelda game.
I don't think there is one. That's the thing. Groose is such a one of a kind
He is.
NPC. It's so good.
He's just Gaston in a Zelda game with more dynamic. That's it.
No, he started out as just Gaston. That's the thing. If you remember Gaston, he just got worse and worse until he died.
No,
Like,
I
this
know.
guy,
That's why I said more dynamic.
He's only been getting better.
Yeah.
Development.
He has a heart.
Yeah. He's the best. There'll never be another one like Groose. Anyway. We at this point this episode is going to be airing right at the start of January 3rd. So I hope you had a happy New Year's. Hope your holidays went well. Next episode will be our finale. And then after that we'll be jumping into our next game, which I guess just to announce it here will be A Link to the Past. Got some cool things lining up. I think we might be able to have some guests on for a few of our episodes. So look forward to that. I'm still coordinating that a little bit. So nothing, I don't want to announce anything yet because nothing's set in stone. But really looking forward to it. And yeah, we will catch you on the next one. If you want to reach out to us, talk about the game, any theories or fun observations or what have you, you can use our email, any of the social medias that we're on to send us a message. But yeah, we will hopefully hear from you, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Watch Power Thirst.
Did you get all that?